and happy Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. I'm Maria Milagros. I am a life coach, I am a speaker, and I am an author. I use this little space here that we've carved out in the interweb to share tips, tools, nuggets, and stories to hopefully inspire you, encourage you, empower you to find new levels of healthy and happy in your life, with the understanding that healthy and happy is not a destination, it is a journey. And because we have this life and the destination is our last day on the planet, and we don't know when that is, because we have this life, we should be intentional about finding ways to tap into joy, to tap into new levels of health so that we feel better in our bodies so we can do more, and to tap into new levels of happiness so again we can share and give from our overflow rather than from a place of depletion or resentment or feeling like we need reciprocity. I did it for you, you need to do it for me. That gets really exhausting. When we do that, when we operate from a place of being intentional about self-caring, about being intentional about loving ourselves, about being intentional about how we show up into the spaces of our lives, we find greater levels of freedom. And with freedom comes fulfillment and fun and clarity, right? And like all the yummy, yummy stuff that people are in constant search of. So during the month of January, we've been really talking about, every week I'm giving you 3 different things that you can use, 3 relevant tools, tips, techniques, whatever you want to call them, that you can use in order to increase your ability to love yourself, to get to know yourself, to take care of yourself. So again, you can give to those who you love and to the things you love to do from a space of overflow. This week is no different. Top 3 things I'm going to give you this week is 1, be honest. 2, know your core values. And 3, write your story. I'll break it down. 1, be honest. Be honest with yourself about who you are, what you like, what you don't like, what you need, what you don't need, what you're about and what you're not about, right? And this really means that we have to take a step back and look at a situation or look at a decision or look at a thought or look at some words that are coming out of our mouths and say, where does that come from? Is that from me? And then a lot of times we'll go, oh, that's from my programming, or oh, that's from my parents, or oh, that's from church, or oh, that's from, and it doesn't serve us. It feels heavy and like weighted and just, right? And when we recognize that disconnect, which is why self-awareness is so important, when we recognize that disconnect, we can say, oh, okay, I'm doing this thing because I was hoping in the doing of X, Y, and Z that I would get the approval, the validation, the acceptance from y'all. And then I realized that whenever I don't do X, Y, and Z, y'all don't approve of, validate, accept me, which isn't actually love. I get to choose by being honest with myself that I'm no longer going to play this game. I'm not going to do this thing. I'm going to find my validation, my acceptance, my approval right here. And then I'm going to live my best life, being a living, shining example for everyone else who is watching me. And when I live my best life and I'm healthy and happy, those who love me should also be happy about the fact that I'm happy. And if they do not, I have to be honest with myself and recognize that my placating them, my living my life appeasing them, my living my life to make them feel better, more comfortable, that's not, first of all, it's not sustainable. I can't do that for the rest of my life. I'm exhausted. 2, I'm exhausted. 3, they're probably never going to be happy. And 4, perhaps they themselves are disconnected from what love really is. Because again, if I'm healthy and happy, they should also be happy that I'm happy, right? So the first thing is be honest with yourself, and then be honest with other people about who you are, about what you like, about what you don't like, and understand that this is an evolving process. It's not like this is it and this is who I am forever and always. That's not true, right? Since we were born, we've been evolving and growing and changing and developing, and it's going to continue to happen. We have to give ourselves that constant room to just kind of expand all the time. The second is know your core values. What are the values that you root yourself in all the time? I have found many times when I do the core value workshops, because I do these workshops from time to time, and when I do, I found that a lot of the people who participate will say, what I say are my core values and what I'm actually living don't connect. Not shocking, because again, what you believe or what you think is either old programming that you no longer believe in, and you're just doing it just to get the approval of others, or what you believe and hold to be your core values, you're doing the opposite in hopes to get the validation and the approval of others, right? And that all stems and goes back to this need for self-love. Because if I love myself, if I validate myself, if I know my source, my creator, I know who I am and what I'm capable of, then when I show up into spaces, I no longer need you to validate me. I can show up honestly. And that's a gift, both to me and to everyone else. And I can check in with myself and my core values and say, hey, did I show up today honestly? Yes. Like for me, my core values are honesty, joy, fun, gratitude, health, and responsibility. Did I show up from a place of honesty? Yes. Did I show up and bring joy into my spaces? Joy or fun? Yes. Did I take responsibility for what I could and own my part and hold myself accountable? Yes. Did I practice gratitude for the moment, the person, the things? Did I? And then where I miss it and I say, oh, no, I didn't do that. Okay, tomorrow's a new day and I'm going to do better tomorrow. I'm going to keep practicing and I'm going to cultivate this life so that my core values align with how I'm living so that I feel congruent. And in those spaces, when we feel congruent, there's not that disconnect. That's where we feel really fulfilled. A lot of times people will say, I feel so stuck. And a lot of that has to do with this not being congruent with what you say to be a priority and real in your life and what is actually happening, right? And then you feel stuck. Well, there's a huge disconnect there. So take a deep breath. Maybe you find your core values, maybe 5, 6, 7 at the most, and then pick one and decide today I'm just going to focus on this core value and I'm going to let this be the root of what I am for today, right? My number 1 core value is love. My number 2 core value is honesty. So as I go through my day, I'm always going, am I operating from love? Am I being honest? Which means sometimes when I'm being honest, am I saying this from a place of love? Those two things are intertwined, right? So just another thing that we can do for ourselves to keep ourselves aligned with love, with who we really are, and then living out that life. That is also self-care. That is also self-love, right? And then the last thing is writing your story. When I say write your story, I don't mean a memoir or a biography of your life up to this point. What I mean is from this point moving forward, what do you want your story to be? Right? Well, I remember when I was younger, I wrote, the teacher had us write in our obituary, and she said, now you're going to reverse engineer your life. And the first sentence was, I am happy. And I found this many years later. Like I wrote that in high school and I found it beyond college. And when I found this folder and I found this paper, I thought, oh my gosh, I am happy. I wrote this when I was depressed. I wrote this when I was miserable and I was depressed and I was aggressive and I had some real anger management issues. And that's when I wrote, I am happy. And I wrote that story, right? Over time, I wrote that more and more, and I wrote that in different places. And I started to write down, almost like scripting. Who do I want myself to be? What do I want myself to feel, my life to feel like? Not what's a list of all the stuff that I want. What is the feeling that I believe I'm going to get from the attainment of that stuff, right? Because really that's why we're trying to achieve those things, is so that we can feel that way. So how can I bypass the stuff and get to the feeling? What do I want? Write your story. And if this one is a little bit tricky and you're saying wait, what? I don't even understand. Let me know, because I will help you in more detail explain it. I just want to keep the video as short as possible. So those are your 3 for today. Be honest with yourself and with others. Know what your core values are and live accordingly. And then write your story about who you want to be, how you want to feel, how you want to move in this world. And then allow yourself to read it every day. The more that when we write something down and we read it, right? The more that we hear it, read it, ingest it, the more that we believe it, and then we become it. So that's a little tool for you that you can just have some fun writing a lovely story about who you are and how you feel in your life, and then allow yourself to revisit that story consistently again so that you can believe it and then become it. During the month of February, we're doing the love journey. It's free. The first 14 days are all about self-love, and the last 14 days are all about sharing love. Every day you'll get an email with a word and an exercise for the day to help us root ourselves in intentionality when it comes to love. And we start with the self because we cannot give what we do not have. And then we move into sharing love just because it's the month of love. So I want to talk about love here and then how that love trickles out into here. It's completely free. It's a lot of fun. Last year we had about 60 women who joined, and they all loved it and said that they really enjoyed it. So if you are interested, you can head on over to my website, and if you click on free videos, it's under there. And then you can sign up and, read more about it and sign up. All right. That's all that I have for you. I hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, if you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down and then let me know why. And if you know someone who can benefit from it, go ahead and share it, because sharing is caring. That's all I have for you. I'm going to go ahead and stick to my core values and maybe go meditate again. I don't know. I haven't decided. But I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I will see you next week. Peace.